Hello everyone and welcome to my Bioactive African Fattail enclosure tour. Right in front of you, well in front of me and you can see my Bioactive enclosure. It is complete, 100% finished, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. There's also an unfinished enclosure down below that has a lot of similar characteristics of this enclosure, and I will share that in a separate video because a separate gecko that I don't have yet will be going in that enclosure. If you want to know more about that enclosure and what it'll look like when it's finished, or you want to know more about the gecko that will be living in that enclosure, you should definitely check us out on Patreon and become a patron. Then you can get early access to videos, you can get early access to when I get new animals or when I build new enclosures, which is literally like every week these days. So one more thing, you can see my hands moving in the reflection of the glass. I also have dogs in my room and a bed in the background, and so you can kind of see a reflection of some of what the room looks like. My apologies, but I hope that doesn't bother you too much. Just know it's not like a ghost or anything just like creeping around in the background. It's one of my dogs or my own hands. So let's go ahead and get started with the tour. One important characteristic of this enclosure that I want to get to before I get to anything else is the bioactive component. So bioactivity in an enclosure basically means you are trying to replicate a natural environment in which the soil can sustain plants, and it can also sustain a cleanup crew, and it creates a nice cycle of, decaying matter becoming fertilization for the plants once again. And also it helps to keep the environment clean. So basically the poop will break down in the soil because the isopods will consume it, and then they will replenish the soil with their poop. It's very fascinating, and the cleanup crew that I choose to use are springtails and dwarf white tropical isopods. I will also be adding more isopods in this enclosure in the future because I have realized that I absolutely adore isopods. I think they're so cute, and I plan to start keeping more so that I can breed them and add them to my other enclosures. And also, the substrate is Josh's Frog's ABG mix, and the drainage layer is the hydrogen or hydro balls. Now I want to make something very clear because so much of this stuff came from Josh's Frogs, and if you are interested in building an enclosure like this, I totally recommend that you get your supplies from Josh's Frogs, especially the plants or the soil, which I've had great luck with. If you do decide to go with Josh's Frogs, you can use my discount code JESSICA15, all capital letters. I'll include it in the links below, but that will help you get 15% off your entire purchase. So if you do decide to go the route of using Josh's Frogs, make sure that you use that coupon code because it definitely helps, trust me. I forgot to mention while recording the video that the top of the soil is organic topsoil and eco-earth combined, and it also features leaf litter. So on this left-hand side, we have a Dracaena right here. The reason I chose to put the Dracaena on that side is because the under tank heater is also on this side. It's right there, and that is Oberon's hot hide. So it's open and it curves up like a cave, and it's right against where that heater will be. Now I have the heater on the side because in a bioactive you can't have it underneath because it'll dry out the soil, the heater won't get warm enough for your gecko, all kinds of things like that. So you need to have it on the side, or you need to have heat from above. I chose to use an under tank heater on the side. It's what I use in his current 10-gallon bioactive. Oh, by the way, this is a 15-gallon bioactive. It's 24 inches long by 12 inches deep by 12 inches tall. But anyways, I chose to use an under tank heater on the side regulated by a thermostat, which you should use a thermostat every time you use an under tank heater or any, heat source that you're gonna have for animals. And so I chose to use that because it's working well for him in his 10-gallon right now. Moving along, we have the calcium dish back here. We have a Philodendron Wend-imbe. We have a Philodendron, I don't know the full name, cordatum, I think. I'll include all the species names down below, but it's a standard philodendron. Another one over here. They are in little cups with drainage holes in the bottom that were affixed to the background with expanding foam, which is what the entire background is. I'll get to that in a minute. And then over here we have a water dish. Over here we have a cool hide because there's plenty of area to hide underneath that really cool piece of driftwood. And then right here we have a humid hide, and that offers a place for Oberon to go and get additional humidity. He also likes to poop in his humid hide. so that's great. So I'll probably poop in there. Alright, so we'll go ahead and take a closer look at the left side of the enclosure, which features the hut hide, and it's like I said, it's like a nice open cork cave, and it goes all the way to his heater. His heater does go beyond that cave. It goes further down some into the soil area, which is really great because the Dracaena doesn't like moist soil, and so that heater will help keep the soil dry in between waterings of the enclosure. Then he has his calcium bowl, which is calcium carbonate, which is calcium without D3. It is pure, like powdered calcium. It does not have any additional supplements or vitamins or anything like that. The reason you want to use calcium carbonate and not calcium plus D3 is because there could be too much D3 in the diet, in addition to the calcium that Gecko is eating from the bowl, and that could result in D3 overdose or D3 toxicity. In the middle of the enclosure, we have this Philodendron Wend-imbe, which is easily my favorite plant. Like, I love it more than pothos and other philodendrons. It is my absolute favorite. I love the shape of it. I love the color of it. I love the texture of the leaves. I love everything about it, and I will quickly be adding it to like every enclosure I have, except the more arboreal ones because it'd be kind of wasted in those. But I love it so much. Down here we have a cork round cut in half to create this like little hut. It looks like it's too low to the ground, but I promise you I just kind of buried it in the ground a little bit so that there'd be like more concealed and it'd trap humidity better. It's open on this end and on this end as well. On this side of the enclosure we have the really cool piece of driftwood. I got this from Chewy. I believe it is Fluker's driftwood. I got this forever ago and just now found something to do with it. It is a really neat piece that I basically glued to the background with silicone and expanding foam. So I'll get to the background in a second, but I just want to show you the length of this piece. So it starts up here and there's one leg that's been concealed by the expanding foam. Here's another leg of the piece, a third leg here, and a fourth leg back there. Bless you, Jackson. And underneath of that wood offers a super dark, cool area for Oberon to go as a cool hide if he chooses to. And also it is super cool. Like, I absolutely love it. I really hope he actually climbs on it. I'm not sure if he's going to, but nonetheless it offers the opportunity to let him do so. On the sides of the really cool piece of driftwood I have the philodendron on like little pots. Like I said earlier, they're basically little plastic cups with the bottoms cut out for drainage, and then you hold them in place with the expanding foam. So let's go ahead and get to the background. Oh, and then of course that's his water dish. So the background is all pulled together by expanding foam. So anywhere you see dirt, that is all expanding foam. I'll include a picture of what it looked like prior to being covered with the silicone and the dirt, just so you can get an idea of what the expanding foam looks like on its own. But basically I took the driftwood and I put it exactly how high I'd want it. So right here where the soil is a few inches above the bottom. I literally took it and put books underneath of it to guess how high the substrate was going to be, and then I siliconed it in place. And then once the silicone cured, I took expanding foam and I sprayed it everywhere in the cracks in between, everywhere, to make sure that it would hold in place. And I also at the same time took pieces of cork. So here's a piece here, here's a piece there, there's a little piece here you can't see behind, but I put those in the background as well, and then I put expanding foam in between them and a little bit over the edges to hold them in place. And now there is a completed background. Once it is cured, you can take all of the expanding foam and carve it, so you can make sure that it has a really natural look to it. You can make it more carved and less carved in other places. You can basically just take away the smooth, bulbousy finish texture of the expanding foam. And then in addition to that, once that's all done, which takes the longest in my opinion, because you actually have to sit there and do it, you can't just like leave it cure. Once that's all done, then you have to take silicone and a paintbrush, bless you Jackson, and you're gonna have to paint with silicone all over the parts that need to be covered with the dirt. And so basically I did that. I took a glove filled with organic topsoil and cocoa fiber and I just smashed it into the silicone. And then once that section was done, I moved on. Then once you set the aquarium upright, you're gonna have a bunch that falls off. That's completely natural. Just go through and fix any pieces that are still exposed. You can also do this like I did with some sphagnum moss, because some pieces are just like not gonna take it as well, and I just put a bunch of silicone on the back of some moss and bam, put it on there and it's covered, and it also looks cool. And then I also strategically placed some of this sphagnum moss as well, just to make it look neat. So that's how you build the background. It's a really long but really amazing process, and once it's finished, it's finished. This is what it looks like. You don't have to do anything with it. It stays there. I mean, over time you probably will have some loss if your gecko or animal is like climbing and leaning against the background, but because African fattails are pretty chill, bless you Jackson, but because African fattail geckos are pretty chill, I imagine Oberon isn't going to be scratching the dirt off the background anytime soon. But one more thing I need to address is the lighting. I simply took 2 strip LED lights. They're the same ones I use for all my other enclosures, and I just adhered them to the top of the next shelf, and then voila, they have light. It comes with a dimmer, which is really great because right now it is dimmed a little bit. It is not at its full brightness, and I wouldn't put it at its full brightness because a lot of geckos like don't appreciate the super bright lights, but these are definitely bright enough, especially when the bedroom light is on. And beneath this enclosure is another African fattail gecko enclosure, but above this one is my aquarium, my 15-gallon with my betta fish, or my betta fish. I know people always get upset when I mispronounce it. I'm sorry, I am who I am. And then it also has my African dwarf frogs, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. So they like a little bit less light because otherwise I'll get algae. If I have too much light in the enclosure, I'll get algae. So it's really great that it comes on a dimmer because I can have all the lights hooked up and then dimmed to the appropriate lighting that I want. I'll try to remember to include a link to the light strips that I use in the links down below, but I honestly forget every time I say that I'm going to leave something in the links below. I'm so sorry. Please remind me in the comments if I have forgotten, and I'll be sure to get right on it. Let's go ahead and get some close-ups of the enclosure. So now is the moment that we've all been waiting for, which is letting Oberon explore this enclosure for the first time. I'm going to go ahead and get him and introduce him to the enclosure, and we're going to get to see him explore and be super cute. So this is Oberon. He's about to shed and he's really grouchy because I just woke him. And my dog is barking, so he's getting spooked. Fantastic, Jackson. Thank you for all of your assistance in this life. Oh great, someone's home and now the dog choir has started. Oh, poor Oberon. He's so like, I was just sleeping. Why did you wake me? Well, I had to put you in during the daytime, little dude, because the lights would be off otherwise, and then people couldn't see you explore. I'm so sorry. I introduced him during the daytime last time too, but he was a lot more enthusiastic about it, I think, because he was already awake. So sorry, Obi. He's like, God, woman, why did you do this to me? So sorry, Obi. Trust me, it was not a conscious effort to wake you up. Just so happened to be that way. I turned the lights in the bedroom off so that he could feel less annoyed or stressed, I'm also gonna go get him a waxworm so that I can like reward him for being a good boy even though I was so rude. You still in there, Bubba? That's okay. I will offer food. Come on, I know you want it. Yes, there you are. Good boy. Speaking Obi's language now. Food time. Come here. Uh-oh, come on. Yes, good job. See? All is better. Okay, last one. I only brought you 3. I think that's a plentiful meal. Come on. Come on. Good job. Well done, Obi. He's so cute. Here, let me show you him cute face. Oh my goodness, there's my Obies, even though he's about to shed. There, see? This is your house. I bring you food. It is a good thing. Yeah, come on out and explore. Come on. Go find your hot hide and chill. Hi. I don't have any more for you. Yeah, go in there. There's a little hide for you. Hi, Obi. You feeling better? That's okay. Human has made it up to me by feeding me. And later, hopefully you'll have a really good shed. So if you're familiar with Oberon from his video where he was rescued by me and my friend, you can tell how much he's thickened out. Look, he's so thick in the middle and his tail has gotten thicker too. Haven't you, Obi? Plenty of hand feeding. He really prefers hand feeding to bowl feeding, so I tongue feed him whenever I feed him. There are some times where I'll toss like a couple of dubia in his bowl, because sometimes he can be like tricky with tongue feeding dubia because he'll try to like eat too many too fast. Are you going back in there? You are wrong, sir. You are wrong. Go to your hot hide. I ran downstairs to get bloodworms. See? Bloodworms for my African dwarf frogs because it's feeding time. Oberon has made it to his hot hide. Success! Look whose little face popped back out. Hi, Obi! How you doing? You enjoyed them waxworms? Were they delicious? Hi, Obi. How you doing? How you doing? Yes, this your house. This your new house. So spacious for a little boy. Yes. Goodbye, human. Go back to me hide now. Well guys, it looks like Oberon has decided to take a chill pill, you know, till tonight when he's awake and shedding, which I totally understand. So that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you please would, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!